In the next verse, Bhagavan says,
न जायते mriyate वा kadācin nāyaṁ bhūtvā bhavitā वा न bhūyaḥ अजो nityaḥ śāśvato purāṇo न hanyate hanyamāne śarīre। यह आत्मा न तो
translation, the self never takes birth, nor does it die, nor having once come into being, will it ever be subject to further becoming. It is birthless, eternal, changeless, and primordial. It is not killed when the body is killed. So in the previous verse, this verse, in the next verse, Bhagavan is talking of ātmā only. Because there is no need to talk much about body. You can study that in biology also. That which part is situated where is the kidney, where is the liver, all these things can be studied in biology, in anatomy. So that's why Bhagavan doesn't speak much about body. He is speaking about ātmā. Because in no Shastra anywhere in the world we will get knowledge about ātmā. Only in the Vedic Shastras in India we get this knowledge of ātmā. This knowledge is very rare, we do not get it anywhere else. That's why in detail Bhagavan is explaining it here. So all the objects in material world, they are all subject to transformation. They are vikari. There are 6 transformations. First, something is born. Like if you take a tree, first it is born. After being born, it exists, it remains, then it grows, then it undergoes transformation like fruits, flowers, etc. After that, it starts dwindling. Like in the case of tree, the leaves starts falling down and then it dries up, it gets destroyed. So these 6 types of transformations or vikara, they happen to material object. This happens to our body also. And Atma is beyond these vikaras, these transformations. That is being explained here so that we understand that all these transformations, they do not happen to the Atma. That's why we can see these transformations, we can witness them, we experience them in the body. If we ourselves were also subject to these transformations, then we could not have witnessed these transformations because the seer is different from the seen. So we see these transformations in the body. We were born, although we do not remember that, but we can understand that, like we see others getting born. So similarly, we were also born. And then we were given a name, we existed, we experienced the body growing up. Everyone has experienced that. Then there are transformations in the body. Then that body reaches old age, starts dwindling. There are wrinkles on the face. We can't stand straight. Muscles start becoming weak. They become loose. Eyes start losing proper sight. We do not hear properly. Digestion power also reduces. So all this happens. Body starts losing strength. So this is apakshaya. And then there is vinasha. The body is destroyed. That is called death. So we all experience this. And because we experience our own body, that is why we are different from the body. Because if we would have been body, how could we have experienced these changes in the body? Because one who is experiencing or witnessing has to remain stable. That object which is stable, that stable object can only experience the unstable or the transformations in the other object. If the witness, the seer itself is transforming, how can he experience or witness the other object? So, like if you go to a cinema hall, you watch a movie. When you are watching the movie, there is so much movement happening, but you are sitting and seeing that. You are stable, sitting in one place, and the movie is on the screen. So, you are experiencing that because you yourself are stable. If you yourself are transforming or moving, if you sit for 2 minutes, then some other person come and sits, then some other person sits on the chair, and then if you are asked what did you see in the movie, then you will be able to tell only for that 2 minutes. You cannot tell more than that because you yourself changed. So if you also change in line with the movie, then you will not be able to tell about the movie because you could not experience it. You could experience it only when you are a stable seer of that movie. Similarly, the body is transforming and we are sitting inside that. We are the seer. If we are not stable, then the transformation happening in the body, we cannot experience that. So it proves that we do not get transformed. When we are sleeping at the night, then also we exist, but we do not have knowledge of our body that time, but we are there, we exist. So when we are sleeping, forgetting the body, that means we are different from the body. That is why that seer who is experiencing the wakeful state, the dreaming state, and the dreamless state, same person is experiencing all three, and we are that experiencer, the seer. And the outside, that is the body, we are not that. That has been imposed on us. So here, Bhagavan is talking of that only, that which is inside the body and which never transforms, which is stable. So, like on the screen, we see the movie, the screen is also not changing. When you see the television screen, you keep changing the channel, see different programs, but the screen does not change. Program may change. So, our body, it is external and it keeps undergoing transformations, changes, and we are inside that. So here also Bhagavan has explained these six transformations. These six transformations in that birth and death, the first and the last one, these two are main. The other four are happening in the middle stage. That is why Bhagavan spoke first of these two. Na jāyate mriyate va. First he talks about birth and death, because mostly people are immersed in this and worried about this. They are immersed in enjoying others' birth, child's birth, and grieving for death. So all these transformations that happen between birth and death, we don't focus on that. We focus mainly on these two transformations, the birth and death. And the other four in between these two, mostly we do not observe them. So here Bhagavan has talked about that also. The second line in this verse is talking about all these transformations only. And the other point is that if you analyze from the point of view of Nyaya Shastra, then Nyaya says that any object which has avayavas, that is perishable. Avayav means parts. So any object which is not made of parts, you cannot destroy that object. Because destroying means the object which is made of its parts, just separation of those parts, breaking away those parts, then that object does not exist there. But that object which does not have avayavas or parts, how will you destroy that? So ātmā does not have any avayava. Ātmā is not made of some parts. So ātmā is devoid of parts. That is why its destruction is not possible. Just like we have this space, Akasha. Akash is not made of parts. It has no avayavas. That's why Akasha cannot be destroyed according to Nyaya. That's why in Nyaya Shastra, Akash is considered eternal, nitya. Any object which is made of earth element, solid, liquid, you can break it up. You can separate the parts. But Akasha, Atma, they are not made of parts. That is why there is no need to lament. One who does not understand this, Bhagavan is telling that person is ignorant. And as long as that ignorance will continue, till that time, the raga, dvesha, lamentation, the moha, all these will continue. So that's why we have to get rid of this, and Bhagavan is focusing that. All these verses which are there, these are all remedy for shoka, for lamentation.